Let's kick it. Let's kick it. I'm slipping and falling. I can't get up. Hey, James, did you get fired? Hey, Jamie. Did you get a reprimand? Did you get fired? I just went and ate a big ass Mexican dinner. It's good too. Peppers. That's the only place I know where you can get that. I'm not going to Starbucks anymore. They pissed me off today. Hey, Melanie. That's right. I can still get it up. Fuck yeah. Fucking Starbucks. I go in there. There's, fucking, Starbucks. I mean, there's good things about them, right? And there's bad things about them. The good thing is, I think it's cool how they let, people come in there. Although they kind of quit that because you just got a bunch of bums everywhere you go and they don't take showers and you're trying to nail the stockbroker standing in line that's paying $10 a coffee and it's just quit working. So they quit doing that. I get it. They finally had to say uncle. And then they got a lot of they're big lefties, right? Which I can put up with to a certain extent. But by and large, their management and their store manager are a bunch of fucking misfits, that think they're they're all a bunch of fucking just how do I just say this? Just kind of just a bunch of overweight women, man haters, which I don't even mind that much, but it isn't traditional women in management positions. It's like they recruit these wackos because nobody else would hire them. So I don't even mind that much. So I go in there, there's a couple girls. So the one talks me into joining the fucking app for fucking bullshit. Well, I'm not really like that anyway, especially if it's too much bullshit. So I join it, and fucking coffee's like $9 a day, and then I always give them a tip. And sometimes I get more. Well, they got this new refill thing too, where if you get a top end coffee, you can get another black coffee to go or for there. It's that's not bad. And I got allergies, so I need all the caffeine I can get. So Starbucks is really can't get out of their own way anymore. What they did is one of these people tried to increase sales and they went gonzo on this app. Well, what's happened is now this app kind of got more successful than they wished for. And before you know it, you can go into an empty Starbucks, there's nobody there, and there's 50 fucking drinks on the counter onto this alphabetized part of the counter. And you can go in there and they're working their ass off and they don't have time to wait on you. I put up with it, no big deal. But now for the person you're trying to get the premium buck from, that's always a bad spot. Sorry about that. I'm not going to fuck around with this app either. So I go there today and I have my phone. I'm getting ready to pay. And the girl rings me up right away. And I said, well, can you scan this app? And she says, that's too late. It's too late. Why is that? She said, well, you got to present the app. It's well, I have my phone out. I said, well, sorry, you can. She said, well, you got to present the app. It's well, I have my phone out. I said, well, sorry, you can go on, call headquarters and they'll add it. It's fuck, man, it's too much bull coffee. Big fucking deal. I mean, they're to do what everybody else is doing. But, you're charging $9 for a coffee and you're giving them every 200 you spend, you give them a free coffee that costs 50 cents to make. It's big fucking deal. So I'm barely hanging in there with it to begin with, right? So I call this damn number to get my bullshit put on my card. And I talked to the lady, and they want me to take pictures of the fucking receipts. Like, fuck you, I'm not doing that. I'm not going through all this bullshit. And she said, well, it's up to you. It's like, yeah, forget it, I'm not doing it. So hang up. And then I go to, they're so busy all the time, I don't really care. They don't ask you if you want, if you want it for there, or you want it to go. Now, of course, if you wanted it to go and they gave it to you in a cup, it'd be a problem. But usually it's the reverse for me. So they never ask. And today I got to go. I don't really give a fuck because I'm sitting there reading my magazines or books or whatever. So, as I said, I'm trying to get the biggest caffeine buzz I can with the allergies. So I go up to the counter, and the same bitch that said it was too late to use my app, I said, hey, I wanted to get a large coffee. And she waited on me. She knew I had that thing. She said, but you're going to have to pay for a coffee. I said, no, I'm not. She said, yeah, you are. I said, no, I'm not. I got a premium drink. And she said, well, you have to get it for here. I said, well, I wanted to get it for here, but as usual, you didn't ask me, so I got it in a fucking to-go cup. It's not my fault. Now I want one to go, which you're able to do on the second free coffee. She said, well, I can't do that. I said, well, get the manager then, which I never complain, and I don't leave negative reviews. So the manager's standing there. I said, she's trying to charge me for another coffee. And she said, no, you're not supposed to do that. And the girl, like, shrugs her shoulders like, fuck, you got to be kidding me. No, you're wrong. Sorry. No problem. You're wrong. Now pour the coffee and shut your ass up and give it to me. So I get it, and but then I get thinking about it, and all this bullshit you got to go through for this bullshit free coffee. So I just called Starbucks and said, hey, you know what? And I told them what happened. I said, you guys can just can my account. So I'm not going back in there now. It pissed me off. And this is why their sales are in the tank. This is why they're closing locations. They've made everybody so busy that they don't even want to do the basic job. And if you go on, you search around on the internet, you can find blogs where Starbucks employees are there. Now, I can't say with 100% certainty they're Starbucks employees, but it's such a pain in the ass, this app, that people are on there saying they work for Starbucks, and they scan the app, even though they know it's not going to do any good. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, like in a situation like mine. I kind of tend to think it's not, because you can tell how many points you have. You know how many you had before they scanned it. So I don't know if that's someone caught in trouble or what, but it pissed me off, so I'm not going back. I'm weird about stuff like that. I'm just going to go back to the 99% fucking Speedway coffee. Not a bunch of bullshit in it. No free thing, nothing. Fuck 'em. No, thank you. Hey, Penny. And I tell them, when it gets to that point, you could offer me $1,000 gift card and you can stick it. I don't want it. And I tell people all the time, whenever I have a problem at a place, I don't want anything free. I don't want a fucking free dessert, half off, none of this shit. Because to me, it undermines the whole basis for you talking to them to begin with. Hey, mind your own fucking business. His servant, get the fuck out of here. Fucking loser. Hey, Carla, how you doing? Get the fuck out of here. Servants, none of your business what I do and why I do it and any other fucking thing. Fucking weirdo. Fucking faggot. I do it all the time. Yeah. I do it all the time. That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, I know that already. Oh yeah, I think truck drivers are great drivers. They're always fucking with them too, trying to get them in trouble, new regulations. I think it's bullshit. The average driver drove as good as a truck driver to be able accents. Hey, get rid of this foreign-speaking fucker too. This is an English channel. If you don't speak English here, you can hit the road. Hey, Terry. Yeah, fuck it. I'm not doing it anymore. It pissed me off. Bunch of fucking freaks. Yeah, but you're right about that, James. It's not. Hey, but James, I didn't see when I have it vertical like this. You don't see a lot of stuff. Did you get in any trouble over that bullshit? Yeah, I think truck drivers did a noble job. Hey, Mike Gamer, how you doing? Yeah, everybody's a moderator. Yeah, so what? I'm in Georgia. Let's get rid of. You gotta aspire high. You gotta shoot for the stars. What else I gonna tell you what else? No, I didn't know that. They don't give coffees to truckers where? Where? Oh, that's cool. Good. But they didn't. Are you off today or are you working? Yeah, I think truckers, I think they are great guys, great women. Everybody driving one's good. It's such a hassle of a job now, too. They said, I've talked to guys, they said there was more money in the 70s and 80s than there is now. You know, they're constantly getting hassled, crazy drivers. Now, you know, because of parking, once you start to get like south of Lexington off 75, good luck parking. And these places don't want you getting early. God forbid if you get there late. Just nothing but a nightmare. Hey, Stephanie. Yeah, I think they give me a call. I give them a break all the time. I'd give them a break if I could. It's going to get cold tonight, like 35 degrees. I'm feeding the birds. Birds have been eating a lot of seed. I'm going to get back in. I just ordered I ordered a bunch more today, audio equipment. You know, I don't care. I mean, you guys know this. You've been around for a while. I mean, it's great that I meet people that I keep in touch with. And, but I've never really did videos with who's going to watch them in mind. Like, I wonder if this will get views. I don't care. And like, I really like doing those sound videos. But I'm a little bit surprised more people don't like want a real thunderstorm and lightning. Considering all the fake stuff out there, it's got millions of views. Although I am in the doghouse with YouTube, that probably has a lot to do with it. But even if just the regular subscribers that I had saw them, I guess people just not into them that much. Yeah, this time it's like that. It's kind of weird. It'll be a nice warm day tomorrow. And what else was I going to tell you about? Oh, I know. Somebody, you know, I get emails too aside from things, and it's like, you know, everybody knows I got rid of I wouldn't say get rid of anybody. It's not like it's a high privilege to like come to the channel. I don't think that at all. But, you know, I just got to where I just couldn't like have like moderators that were just so crazy lefty. So I didn't want to be in moderators anymore. People will send me emails sometimes. And, you know, YouTube's like anything else. You know, dating, coworkers, neighbors, whatever. There's a lot of weirdos on YouTube. And I've never found quite a place like this where you draw so many. They have access and they just come on there. And so say you go on YouTube like I did. You start interviewing prostitutes. People like the videos. You kind of get to know them through there. And what has happened to me is like any relationship, I'm not looking for anything on here, okay? I got enough friends. I don't need a job, you know. But there are a lot of people that aren't like that. And during the course of, it takes a long time sometimes. You'll meet, let's say for an example, like Maddie videos. I've met people through, that's how they knew about the channel, you know, Maddie, stuff like that. You get to know them and that kind of stuff. Well, you know, when you're only knowing them through YouTube, that takes a while. It's not, like I said, it's not like you're dating somebody or something. And there's quite a few people, to be honest with you. The more I got to know them, the less I liked them. Whether it was from ideology, the deadbeat kids that they brought into this world, they're druggies, they're just crappy, shitty, troublemaking, drama-laced people. And after I ascertained that after a while, I just didn't want them around anymore. And I think with YouTube, that everything is so geared. Like, I'll have people send me emails to give them why they think they should join my channel. It's like, are you kidding me? Don't join it. I don't want you joining it. There are still people out there that think that subscribers and that them joining your channel is just something that you need to convince them to do. And I notice that if I'm on a channel and they're harping this like, subscribe, all this bullshit, it just turns me off so bad. It's the same people that are selling these cheap, cheesy t-shirts and all this stupid stuff with their name on them. Like, I would never charge anybody for anything. It's not worth it. It's just a guy screwing around. Like, I'm gonna make t-shirts with my name on it and charge you? Are you crazy? For what? It's nuts to me. Or a lot of these channels, they want to do like Patreon. They want to make private channels. Man, I say you're lucky to have anybody come on your channel and talk to you. Period. If anything, I should be paying them. Them not paying me. And now you want to charge people like $9.99 a month to come on your channel? Are you out of your mind? Your channel is worth nothing. My channel is worth nothing. You'd have to be nuts to pay anything. No, I never said it. I think it's the stupidest thing in the world. Subscribe, like, oh my God, just give you a headache. God. Crazy. But this is what I am going to do, though. I'm going to get into more audio. It sounds really fascinating. Believe it or not, you're not going to believe this, but audio is harder than video and photography. I maybe not harder is the right word, but it's more complex, you know? And I want to make mine like better, so it's like how you would hear it if you were there, which takes a fair amount of manipulation. You just don't turn on a like GoPro and it seems like you're there. You're not. It sucks, really, which is why I'm getting into it better. Like, I'm going to do like frog sounds, birds, trains, stuff like that. You know, like good quality sound. Yeah, anybody wants one? I make them for people all the time. Actually, I just went and got some plastic storage cases, organizing these CDs I got. I'm not even into music, but I am organizing. There's a black lady in there that she's got all these crazy tattoos. You'd never think, but she's a big bird nut just like I am. And I was telling her tonight about, you know, I'm really getting into audio, and they'll say, I'll pay you for like if you put like audio on an SD card. Anybody out there that ever likes like, you know, something to sleep by or something, I'll gladly make you one. Any sound you hear on there, I'll send it to you. I'll even pay for the postage and SD card. I'm lucky to be able to do this and just get up every morning and just screw around and like have fun. It's none of your business how many hands I got in the wheel. Mind your own business. Shut up. Hey, get rid of that fucking guy too, will ya? It's probably the same one you just blocked. Get rid of his dumbass too. Thank you. I bought 100 more Fantasy Fives, and then I had 10 free tickets and $20 winners. So I got about $130 worth of Fantasy Five. $1 million pot. Let it fly. Let's rock. And what else I gonna tell you? I'll tell you. I keep looking at other businesses. I went and looked at a granite company the other day. I looked at a lumber yard. And then I really decided last night that I'll tell you where the money's at. The money is at in property. No employees. You just buy it. Maybe improve it. Maybe you don't. You just sit on it. The day you buy it, just put up a sign. Just let the offers come in. It's way more profit than the typical business now. You don't have any employees, nothing. There's nothing really that's going to happen to it. I think that's what I'm just going to do. Is just keep doing that. I mean, I do miss interacting like with clients and stuff, but not at the expense of like razor thin margins, workers' comp, liability. Just get property and you don't do shit. Now the downside of that is sometimes you gotta wait a while. It's not like I have tons of time. The deer, he's gonna get fucking creamed. He's gonna get fucking smashed flatter than a pancake. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, paying something. What a nightmare, man. Everything is just like terrible now. And there's no guarantees. Like in my life, I've looked at businesses that went full circle. I didn't know them well, but I knew the Border Books in Ann Arbor. They sold for $140 million to Kmart, and then they went out of business. Tom Monahan, I'd see him a lot. I wouldn't say I knew his daughter. I kind of knew one of the son-in-laws. Look at him, He sold that for $1 billion. And then I dropped out of college one year and I delivered pet supplies. And I used to, they were the biggest pricks in the world, Kmart. I'd wait in line 5 hours to deliver them an entire truckload of high-end liquor around the holidays. And they act like I was doing them a favor they were doing me a favor by letting me give it to them. Well, you see where that got them out of business. You look at Sears, out of business. You look at all these companies going out of business now. I see Joanne Fabrics shutting down 800 stores. All this traditional business that had been around for years is just in the tank. And another thing about business too, I tell people all the time, don't even consider getting into anything where you got to compete with Amazon. No way. Now, I order a bunch of shit from Amazon, and I do because there's nowhere to get it locally. There's just not. I mean, so I do get, and like I get weight. I buy a lot of weight equipment. You know how heavy weights are, right? A 45-pound plate's like $70. It's a third cheaper than anybody else, and they deliver it. Compete with that. I mean, I just don't see anybody. They will wipe your ass out. I don't care what it is. So the property thing, I think that's the way to go. I do think, though, like I'm a baby boomer, right? I caught the tail end of the good days. I'll bet you this property thing isn't going to be this good in another 25 or 50 years because you're just not going to have enough people around to inflate the prices. You're just not going to, you're going to have just massive droves of people that can't afford acreage. Oh yeah, I believe that. Oh yeah, did you see Starbucks just got it broke off in their ass, $50 million for handing a coffee that the lid wasn't on. And let me tell you a thing about that burning coffee thing. My sister was the first single female in a McDonald's franchise, right? Big deal. Well, about 2 years after she had two things happen to her when she first started. They used to have this thing in the Detroit News called the Contact 10. And if you thought you were getting hosed, you wrote them and they'd get these journalists out there to fuck with you. Well, when she was hiring for her first store, this big fat broad came in and they didn't have any outfits big enough. They didn't have any uniforms big enough. And they're on pins and needles even back then. They're trying to like find a place where they can get one of these McDonald's uniforms. And they just can't find one that big. So this lady writes this letter to this fucking Contact 10, and they do a big deal about it. And basically, and she's just starting out. You don't even know if you're going to make it at the time. So, they come up there and take pictures of the place, and it's like, this is before this woke shit, but it was heading that way. And they interview my sister, and she's called McDonald's talking to the legal staff. It's like, you're fucked either way, right? So basically, she had to admit to this place that, hey, look, I looked all over for a fucking uniform this big, and I couldn't find one. So, what was I going to do? A requirement at McDonald's, you have to have a uniform, and, it has to fucking fit you, right? And because I couldn't find one, I couldn't hire her. Well, that eventually died out, but it wasn't exactly something you felt comfortable with, right? So about a year and a half after that, this lady's going through the drive-thru and spills a coffee on her lap after they handed it to her. She claims it burns her legs. She sues. And, I was doing PI work at the time. My sister called. It's like, oh, you're never going to believe what happened. This lady went through, said this, that. She can't live anymore because of this. So I investigated her. And I did all the background search. And I'd found out she'd had a couple slip and falls and was just kind of like a scammer. And the burns really didn't amount to much. So I write this big ass report up. She ended up sending it to McDonald's. And they filed a lawsuit. And basically they laughed when this went to court. It was dismissed. They said, ain't you crazy? You need to watch yourself, you dumbass. If you got a hot coffee, just don't be putting it between your legs, which she admitted doing in a deposition. So the lawsuit got dismissed. So, this makes sense, right? It's your own comparative negligence. So about 3 years later, there's a McDonald's someplace, some other part of the country. Same shit happens. Same everything. And they get awarded like $20 million. It sticks. It just goes to show you. Different jurisdictions, different sentiment on how things are looked at. So I don't know if you saw the news today, but Starbucks just had a $50 million award rendered against them for handing a hot drink and the lid wasn't secured. $50 million. I mean, that's just insane. $50 million because the lid wasn't on. Yeah, it's bullshit. It's just like Roundup. They got that bit in Johnson's powder in women's vaginal areas. Crazy dollar amount, some bullshit. Of course, where did both those big lawsuits happen? Guess where? California. What a surprise, huh? Yeah, what a surprise. Yeah, they'll sue you for anything. That's exactly right. So you see, in the old days, they had tort reform, which meant, like in the old days, if you went into your local grocery store and you slipped on a banana peel, you could sue and they'd give you a settlement or who knows what you'd get, right? Well, when tort reform came around, what that meant was now in order to be successful in a lawsuit like that, you had to prove that somebody told the owner of the store, hey, there's a banana peel over there. You didn't do anything about it. It was another hurdle to get a lawsuit to gain some teeth. Well, that really cut down, kind of really saved the ability for anybody to get insurance. That happened in a lot of other aspects too. Same with malpractice. You had to get another doctor to certify that what happened was malpractice as opposed to just someone filing and hoping for the best. So a lot of these reforms took care of that for these scammers just trying to get settlement money. And every insurance company or self-insured has a dollar amount in mind to get rid of these people because sometimes it's just cheaper to give them 20 grand than it is to litigate it. And here's the big thing that all insurance companies are afraid of. liberal juries in big cities. Why? Because, as I've said before, liberals generally have a much higher crime conviction rate than conservatives. And a lot of them have had what they consider bad experiences with insurance companies. Yeah, you know what a bad experience is? The insurance company denying the claim because they're a bunch of crooks, frauds, and they're lying. So they just hate insurance companies. And the last thing an insurance company wants is to have their case go to a place like an OJ jury where you're going and they don't like you anyway, and you're going to get your ass handed to you. So that kind of forces some of these settlements that really shouldn't be settled for that kind of dollar amount, because they just don't want to take the chance of leaving the dollar amount up with punitive damages to a whole bunch of people that hate insurance companies to begin with. Oh, you're not kidding. Oh, yeah, the world's crazy. I mean, I can't even really tell you, like, a good business to go into anymore. I really don't know. Luckily, I'll be dead in about 15 years. I don't need to worry about it. I can't imagine being, like, 20 years old and, like, just starting out in life. God. Of course, maybe you don't know any better, and that keeps you from going crazy. But for what I know now, if you could turn back the hands of time and make me 25, no thanks. Hell no. No way. I would not want it. Yeah, that woke thing is just wearing everybody out. You know, and that Starbucks, like I said, it's good and bad. I mean, I kind of look at things independently. But it's just like, you know, if you're just a straight male that worked, that's honest, you're fucked. Especially if you're white. You're last in line for anything. Tractor Supply's like that too. You go there, they got like 8 handicap spires, another 4 for veterans, and some other damn bullshit. You know, I tell them all the time, man, I say it on their surveys. If you're white, employed, and have discretionary income to spend there, you're parking in the back 40. Yeah, you got to walk your ass off. All the other parking spaces are reserved. Now, I don't have a problem with the handicap thing, but the veteran thing, you know, I mean, not really, but, you know, a lot of this veteran stuff I'm suspect about too. You know, they're probably in the military peeling potatoes in Augusta, Georgia. It's not like they're up there, you know, dodging bullets. I could just puke sometimes when I see these people go up to these people that are probably weekend warriors and just thanking them for their service and paying for their dinner when they probably like replace light bulbs on aircraft in Toledo, Ohio. Yeah, I just get sick of it, man. Like, you know what you're getting. Another thing I'm not big on too is the cops being heroes when they get shot. Look, I'm 100% police protective. Totally against getting rid of police departments. I'm totally for law enforcement. I'm not saying they don't do some terrible things, but I'm for them all the time. But when a cop gets shot in the job, he's not a hero. Neither is a fireman that gets burnt like a Rice Krispie. You know what the risks are when you sign on for that job. You're not a hero. You're a guy doing your job. To me, the hero is the overweight Polish plumber that gets electrocuted, unclogging a 9-pound turd out of a house with no heat on it in Detroit in January. That's a hero. Yeah, I mean, this shit, I get so sick of this shit. You know, they had these 2 black people that just drowned in this Lake Oconee down near me. They were out celebrating their some kind of anniversary. And they were both like, had good jobs and stuff. In this little bullshit boat. They found her right away, and it took them a month to find him. And I'm not saying this had anything to do with it, but if you read between the lines, if you got half a damn brain, you'll realize that the media was trying their ass off to make it look like the male murdered the female. And thank God they just found his body the other day. But they got a sheriff down there, white guy. You say, well, how does that matter? Well, maybe it doesn't, but maybe it does. And I heard this guy on TV saying that his officers were diligently searching the lake, risking their lives to find his body. Risking your life? How? Doing what? You are a rescue coordinator. We're a life preserver. Being about, how are you risking your life looking for a body, you moron? Well, as it turns out, one of these places out in Timbuktu with half a brain, private outfits, came in from someplace and found this guy in less than half of a day. Yeah, it's just you get so tired of these doting government officials blowing their own horn. They're just so unbelievably super incompetent. Risking our lives looking for a body. What an idiot. Yeah. Hey, Jeannie. Yeah, I mean, what a jack. I'm just glad they found that. But I'll tell you, the whole thing is stinks to begin with. She was very accomplished. He was too. Everybody seemed to like him. They were dating or some shit. There's some kind of celebrate. They go out in this little bullshit boat. You know how you see those things are kind of like a hybrid kayak, fucking surfboard. You know, the sign you see these crazies in lakes sometimes they're standing up like pushing with a oar or something. It's not like a real boat. It's not quite a surfboard. It's just plastic thing you'd see on sale out in front of like Walmart or a sporting goods store, you know, and it just looks like what a perfect way to drown yourself if wherever you put this thing in has any waves at all. It looks like something that'd be safe in a swimming pool. This is what these people were in. And you're out there celebrating an anniversary in this little bullshit boat, and sure enough, the thing ends up turning over, I guess, and you both are dead. It just blows my mind. I mean, anybody with half a brain wouldn't have gotten this thing to begin with, much less during the winter near an active dam. It just looked like a suicide mission. But I would just love to know. I wish they'd have uncovered like some secret, you know, or hidden security cameras. It's like, what in the hell are you people doing out there to begin with? It's nuts. Yeah. But you could, they wanted so bad for this. Everybody, you know, if you read between the lines, that, you know, this guy's like in TD celebrate he got rid of his girlfriend. Yeah, bullshit. Bunch of bullshit, man. Well, when this thing buffer you guys, it's going to be tits up, so appreciate you riding along with me. Thanks for getting rid of those woke losers. China. We're getting back to Panama Canal. Going to make Canada the 51st state. I told Mark Kropka, I don't want you doing any more of these music things anymore. You're Canadian, you're pissing me off. You just got to be woke. We're bringing back the old days. Just kick it. This thing's stuck. You guys still hear me? James, if you can hear me, I'm glad you didn't have any problem with your job, and I give you the Gulf of America right on. You know, the Mexicans, honestly, I don't care that they're over here, the ones that aren't killing, stealing, raping, and robbing. I mean, it's worked for everybody. It worked for them. It worked for us. The ones that they're trying to get rid of, which isn't going to be quite that clean, you know, are the crooks. You know? World's crazy, man. Nuts. Yeah, you guys be kicking it. I'm gonna make sure my thermostat's on tonight. Go walkie bye-bye. Got another good moon coming up tonight too. Put my GoPros out there. Shotgun mic, condenser mic. We kick it. Let's rock and shit. Let's rock to the jizzo. Yeah, I can do another line. You know, this just old to me. Wait, this. Let's kick it. Oh, Manuk bought some Audio Technica condenser mics, shotgun mics, lavalier mics. I've already got some good recording equipment. I want to practice. I like the sounds of things. Sound is hard, man. I just ordered 2 more books on it too. It's not easy. I mean, you know, like the camera, most time I just punch the button, but this sound, it's not quite like that. No, all that shit's cheap. Not cheap. No, it's not. And now I'm looking at it. You know what is cheap though, believe it or not, is the editing programs for sound. You can get really good ones for like $30. Hard to believe. Oh, excuse me. Oh, so you know what I'm talking about, yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, well, you know how it is then, yeah. You know, I notice a lot of these high-end sound recording manufacturers and microphone manufacturers, you know, all the good shit seems to come like from Switzerland, Germany. There's a guy in the UK, immersive sound, I think it's, and his stuff up there. Pull right up in front of the room, total hillbilly. Pure white trash. All right, you guys a little bit. Thank you for riding along.